It's chilly, so we're gonna keep this hoodie on.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to do a business 2025 recap video because this year I launched my business. It is called Warm Pages, which is going to be a bookstore, cafe, wine bar situation here in St. Louis, Missouri. And I did everything this year. I completely turned my whole life around when it came to being an entrepreneur and what I was pursuing and what I was going for. Before I had Warm Pages, I was trying to do a clothing brand, but I feel like getting a clothing brand off the ground is hard, especially nowadays, because people don't really trust clothing brands. People feel like sometimes they get scammed by clothing brands, and you really have to build a story and a name behind it. But I really love my idea. So we're going to bring Slick and Threads back one day, but we're going to talk about Warm Pages because I really want this video just to be like a way for me to look back and really see the growth, because on December 30th, what's today's date? Today is the 28th. So on December 30th will be our 1 year since I registered Warm Pages online officially for it to be an LLC. And then in April was when we launched our website, April 1st. And so much has happened this year. So I wanted to do a deep dive and just kind of go through everything so I can see my growth and how far I've gone. And then also talk to y'all about what I'm super excited going into the new year. I wrote everything down. It's not going to be, I try my best to kind of put everything in order, and I'm going to look at my phone too, because a lot of the success came from posting on TikTok. And that is really where it kind of blew up at. And I did not expect that to happen at all. Like, I thought I was just going to talk about it because I had talked about it before, but it didn't really build traction. And then I talked about it that one day, and it literally in a couple days, I had 10K followers on my TikTok. And now we're going to get through everything. Okay. So I have my handy dandy notebook and let's get started. So Warm Pages timeline. I decided the end of 2024. I remember exactly what I was doing. I was getting my lashes done and I just was like, what if I do a bookstore? And I was getting my lashes done and I went across the girl who does my lashes. I was like, girl, I'm thinking about opening a bookstore. She was like, that would be really great. I think you should go for it. And so I was talking to my mom, and the thing about my mom is like I always get on her because I'm like, you have to finish out anything that you start. Like, you're never going to see success in a business if you just keep starting and stopping, starting and stopping. And like my mom she does so many different things. She's a real estate agent now. She just got her degree in like the medical field. So like she does a lot of things. She had a boutique. I love this boutique. I love when we had a physical location. I was just talking about this on my, I had just made a video earlier. I hope y'all can hear me. So I had just made a video and I was talking about how I have been obsessed with watching people open up their boutiques. There's this one boutique in New York called Colorful Natalie, and seeing her growth on the platform, like seeing her growth on TikTok and then seeing her growth in her business and how she's constantly having to order inventory, constantly having, and like people coming from all over the place to go to her shop. Like, I love seeing success stories and I love seeing people open up their boutiques. And like, I don't know, I just been really liking that type of content on my For You page. So I told my mom, I was like, what if I do a bookstore? And I didn't know how she was going to react to it because I'm one to tell her, like, you need to stick to something. And I feel like I had stuck with my clothing brand for so long. I tried to grow it through the pandemic. I tried to grow it through all the ups and downs of my life. Like, I talked about Selected Threads for so long and I love the idea behind it. And I made so much content and so many videos behind it. And I was like so stuck on it. And at the end of the year, going to 2025, and when I turned 25, I was just like, you know what, I think it's time to pivot. And I think as an entrepreneur, it's very important to realize that this idea is not working. And it doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that it won't work. Maybe it's just not the time for it to work. And I had this idea and I wanted to go for it, so I did. So December 30th, 2024, I registered Warm Pages and got the LLC and the name. Fast forward, in the beginning of January, that's when I started posting about Warm Pages, and I was making videos here and there talking about like I want to open up a bookstore. And then when I really got down to like thinking about what I wanted the bookstore to be about, I had decided that I knew in my head that, whoa, Oh my gosh, I just got choked up. So, I am someone who loves all things creative. Film, photography, art, music, dance, like anything that's just like creative. I love anything where someone can take an image they see in their head and paint it, draw it, create it. Like I love all those things. So I knew in my store I wanted to fill it up with black art, and I wanted to have real cozy, warm vibes. I'm a very like naturally like very calm, chill person, honestly. And so I knew like it was going to be real calm and chill. And I wanted it to feel cozy and welcoming. And then I was playing around with names and I was doing name researches and stuff like that. And then Warm Pages came about. And I was like, okay, Warm Pages, Warm Pages. I like that. So I looked it up to see if anybody else had a name like that. No one else had a name like that. So I just started like getting all the things of like getting Instagram and getting this and getting that, all those things. And then I was like, well, what if I just dedicate this space to Black women? I don't know. It just came to me. Like when someone asked me like, so how did this come about? I really don't know. Like, it just literally came to me and I was like, a space, Warm Pages. What do I envision it? Cozy, warm. I love browns and neutral colors and like really good like deep greens and all those things. Like so everything I can imagine. And I was like, what if I just dedicate this space to Black women? And the more I talked about it online and the more I did my research and figured out that one, there's not a lot of Black owned bookstores that exist. Two, Black authors don't get the representation that they deserve in the book community. They don't get pushed often. If you go to like to a Barnes and Noble, it's a hard time finding Black authors, Black romance authors of any, like there's so many Black authors in different genres, but you wouldn't know because they don't really get the same spotlight that other authors, white authors will get. So I was like, I'm just gonna dedicate this space to Black women. And it made the most sense. I'm a Black woman. I relate most to Black women. I love Black women. I think that we are amazing. I think that we're like creative. I think that we take anything and we make it great, you know? And so that's what I decided to do. And now I'm on this journey of opening up a bookstore. So I started posting on Instagram. I posted our first video January 17th. And then in March, I started New Voices Friday. So New Voices Friday is basically every Friday we feature a Black woman author, and so I asked them some questions. And so if you read the description box, the caption box of the post, it's like their name, who they are as an author, and then like they choose a book that they want to feature. So it will be a picture of them and then a picture of their book, and then it will just talk about what inspires you, what do you want readers to take away, why is amplifying Black women voices so important. And yeah, so I started New Voices Friday, and ever since March, I missed 1 week, but ever since March I have been posting every Friday a Black woman author. Alongside March 19th is when I posted on TikTok, and that is the video that quote unquote went viral. It got all the way up to like 200 something K views, and that was the video that just pushed everything. That was the video, like this was way before I even had planned on launching the website. I was testing products, I was getting products in, like I was figuring out like wholesaling products and all those things. And so I posted on TikTok, and then from there, yeah, we were lit. We were lit. Like, I never seen that many numbers before. And I'm somebody who has been posting on social media, on YouTube more so like since I was 13. And so I've always been a social media person. I've always thought social media was so cool, how you could connect with so many different people all around the world. And I always wanted to use my platform as a community. Like I've always been community based when it came to anything that I ever posted on social media, because I was a awkward, still am a little bit. I was like an awkward, shy kid growing up, and I really struggled to connect with my peers. And so like I would get on YouTube and feel so connected to people that like didn't even know that I existed, honestly. But I knew, like, I always liked the idea that you could watch my video. Maybe you could step out of your own reality for a little bit and just relate and talk to me, hang out with me for a little bit. Well, not talk to me, but you know, leave comments and like I respond, things like that. So I always knew like, I've always like posted online. So posting online has never been like a struggle. It's just now with the years of posting online and all this experience and the years of growing my clothing brand and all this business knowledge I have came and like learned, I'm finally using it and growing something, like actually growing something, actually building something. I actually have people that are listening and wanting to hear what I have to say and wanting to see what we're doing. And so for the first time, to be honest, like it paralyzed me because I was like, oh my gosh, wait. What do you mean 15,000 people just click follow on me and like was here for the journey? What do you mean like so many people were commenting, and I had so many women sending me so many good encouraging like messages and comments saying like, we need something like this. This is beautiful. Thank you so much for doing something. Or I had the same idea. You're encouraging me to open up something like this in my city. Like so many people. And I was like, wow, y'all, like I get so emotional thinking about it because for a long time, I've always wanted to build something. So to see that I finally have and am building something is really beautiful. And that's why I can never express so much gratitude to people who like genuinely support my business and me and listen to what I have to say and attend events and buy from us and just support us. Like, I can't say thank you enough to everybody. So April 1st, website launched and we did really, really good. In that first month, I was getting an order every day, which was really fun. And I love packaging orders. It's always my favorite part. Getting everything together and shipping it off. And that was very, very fulfilling. It was very fulfilling to like fulfill orders. But yeah, so April 1st, and then May 3rd is when I attended my first vendor event. Plus we had got 50 orders. So in 1 month of us opening up our website, I had got 50 orders and I attended my first vendor event. And then from there, I attended a bunch of different vendor events throughout the rest of the year. People were reaching out, wanting to have us come through and like set up shop and do all those things. And then October 23rd, we had reached 100 orders, and that is online orders plus going to vendor events. So that accomplishment was so crazy to me to think that we reached 100 orders. 100 orders mean 100 people decided to shop with my business and spend their hard-earned money. And like, I was really appreciative of that. And I was like so shocked because like I said, again, when you have been trying to grow something and you put your all into it and like you're like trying to hold fast and like say it's going to work out, and then you decide, you know what, this isn't for me, I'm just going to stop this right now and I'm going to try to build something else, and it just goes like this. It shocks me every day, and I always have these like pinch me, like, is this real life moments? And like sometimes I feel like an imposter, like my imposter syndrome be going crazy because I be like, okay, I've reached a point where I'm at this point, but now it's time to further and grow from this point. And so I feel like that's why I say like always appreciate and be grateful for where you are, because the farther you grow, the more higher you get, like, you know, and so the stakes become more higher. And so it's like you have to maintain that and keep people wanting to shop with you and building that audience of people and community and all of those things. And it's like, I know the greatest thing would be when we actually have a physical location. That I feel like will make me feel the most successful, because that's really what everybody is waiting for. And it would make all this other stuff that I'm trying to do so much more easier, because I would just have a location where I can host events and have things, and I don't have to worry about paying someone else and their building and stuff like that. So I'm excited for that. I really want that to happen in the new year. So yeah, we got our first 100 orders October 23rd. And then along the way of me growing my platform, this young lady reached out to me and she was like, hey, I'm building this this group in St. Louis of other young women entrepreneurs that we can come together, connect, and be in community with each other, because it can feel lonely being an entrepreneur sometimes, because there's a lot of things that you have to deal with on your own, and there's a lot of decisions that you have to make, and there's a lot of things where you could feel like, dang, like I wish I could talk with someone about this or have someone that understands where I'm coming from. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. So we met, our first time was in August. We met in August, and it's so cool looking back at my vlogs, because I can hear and listen to myself being like, I'm really nervous about going to this thing, but I'm going to go for it. And to see the progression of like me talking about joining this group to agreeing to join this group and like having like a partnership type of vibe where we like build together. And so like we bring our audience together, and then we create events that is curated for everybody that's like different, not different, but like for everybody that's like niche in their own audience. So we met in August. We decided like about 2 or 3 months later that we were going to have our first event, and it was going to be my event. It was going to be an event hosted by Warren Pages X, the wellness group, and then, but I was going to go first. So it was going to be a literary, November 8th, I hosted my very first event in St. Louis, and it was a author panel event. So I got local Black women authors, and they came and sat down and they talked about their journey being an indie author, struggles they've gone through. They talked about just growing as an indie author, all of like the struggles of like getting their book published, the cost, and I opened it up to the audience, and like the conversation was getting so good that we had to wrap it up, because I was like, y'all, we only have this space for like another 30 minutes. Like I still want to give y'all time to like shop and be with and like go and talk to the authors one-on-one and stuff like that. So it was such an amazing turnout. We sold 50 tickets. And I was amazed. And I love, like, it always shocked me when like people would be coming up to me like, oh my God, I see your TikTok. Like, I see you on TikTok. I wanted to come support, and I appreciate what you're doing for our, like, for the community and stuff like that. And it's something that I didn't really expect. Like, for me, it was just like, this is a cool idea, I'm going to go for it. But I guess I didn't really expect for it to go like this well, to where there are people all over saying like, I can't wait to come to St. Louis to come to Warren Pages. And that makes my heart so full and so happy. And I'm just like so grateful for this little community that we're building, and our little corner of the internet. Like, I love saying that, like, this is my corner of the internet, and I try to be as real and truthful as I possibly can, because I don't know, like, this is my life. So yeah, November 8th, we had our very first event. Amazing turnout. I didn't even expect for people to shop with me, but they shopped with me. I had a couple orders that day. I learned so much from that. It was so fun. I was the moderator, and for me, again, like I told y'all, I am a awkward, shy, naturally introverted person. So for me to then get on there in front of like a crowd of 30 people and lead a panel was very big for me. And I was so nervous and I was so scared, but it ended up being like amazing. And everyone's like, you did so good. And I already told myself that, like, going in, I was like, you're probably going to suck. You're probably going to suck because this is your first time doing something like this. And you have to keep doing these things to get more comfortable and get more confident in doing them. And so, like, I was on such a high, because after that I had like a social networking event that I got invited to. And it's like, I am for the first time being recognized, and that feeling is so unnatural, and it feels so like, ooh, scary at first, because it's like, oh my gosh, like, I've been posting for so long, I've been trying to grow a platform for so long, and now it's finally here. And it's like, I never will take it for granted, because it's something that I've always wanted, and I always wanted to happen in my life. And even when I made my very first video and I started posting when I was 13 years old, like, I've always wanted something like this. So to see it actually happening is such amazing to me. And like the young diamond in me is just like amazed by all of this. Like, the book lover in me, the girl who was getting in trouble for reading a book in math class, because I despise math class, but the girl who was reading books left and right and finishing books in one day, like, absolutely. And the people and the connections that I've made and the communities that have been built, and like, it's so amazing. And so, like, yeah. That's really the timeline. Then that was really the full year. So in between vendor events, I attended a couple more vendor events. We had our first event And right now, I think I just packaged our 113th order today. I'm looking to get more inventory. And so, yeah, I think like I'm really excited to continue on building this community and actually hosting like in-person events while we're trying to get, or while I'm trying to get this physical location. And then like the most thing I'm excited for is next year we have and even but like even throughout, when I first posted my first TikTok that kind of blew up in March, I had constantly have been making videos and TikToks. And so like I've been growing my platform and then like constantly talking about the things that I want to do with more pages, stuff like that. So it has just been this year has just been so life-changing for me in more ways than anyone will probably ever know. So like I'm super excited for next year, and I'm super excited to continue to push myself because like I told y'all, that imposter syndrome be kicking my ass. It be kicking my ass sometimes, but we have a couple events actually. It's got to the point where I literally wrote down Warm Pages 2026 calendar, and so far we are hosting our very first book club in February. It's going to be Valentine's themed. I'm super excited to get all those details together. So if you are in the St. Louis area and you're interested, you have to go to our website and then go to like to book club, and then you can sign up for our emails where you get access to our Instagram discussion group. And then also I would just send updates, details about things to our email and stuff like that, just in case you may not have Instagram or may not see it. But we have another event in February as well. Not too much about that though. I'm still learning about that. But for Warm Pages, we have the Literary All-Star Expo event that is happening in March 28th. And then we have Black Romance Book Fest in May. And I'm super excited. We're going to Atlanta in May. And then I've kind of broken everything down in quarters. So like this honestly is the first quarter of the year for Warm Pages, and it's coming in hot and strong. I have new inventory items I've been looking at. I have a hoodie idea I want to get made, some tote bag ideas I want to get made. I want to expand Warm Pages to do a lot of like custom and wholesale things, because getting wholesale items is very nice, and I love supporting other businesses. So I of course will shop wholesale and then like sell through Warm Pages, but I also want to create my own designs and create hoodie designs and totes and sweatshirts and things that just really show what Warm Pages is about. And then obviously the biggest thing is getting a physical location. And so I've been applying to grants and looking at like loans, stuff like that. But I really don't want to take out a business loan personally, because I feel like that's just such a high risk thing to do. And just finding the perfect location. There are some locations I've been looking at, but none of them have really stuck out. And the one that stuck out to me the most is off the market now. So I don't know what that means. Probably someone is trying to buy it. I'm so sad because I love that building. I feel like that building would have been everything. But yeah, I just feel like next year is going to be super exciting. We're entering year 2 of Warm Pages, and I'm just like, I'm ready to just conquer it all. There's so many more events that we plan on hosting, and I actually got in contact with this really cool building that offered that I could host events and pop-up shops there. So I am looking to like try to figure out some community events that we can host on the weekends, and then I can also help bring in more sales as well, and then pushing like our affiliate links, because we don't physically have books. That's just too much for me to like do right now without having a physical location. So I'm pushing like our bookshop links and our Libro links and all things like that. So yeah, and I would say I'm just really excited, and it's so nice to just kind of like look back, and occasionally like I will just look back at all the posts I created over the year, and I would look back at like the posts that went up for me and when everybody was like, and so I love to just look back at my content and just hear how much I've grown as a person and as an entrepreneur. And I feel like owning a business will test you in so many different ways, and especially when you want to grow it to the point where you can just slowly rely on your business as your financial support. And I've seen so many videos lately that have really been speaking to me, and it's just been like, you know, everyone talks about wanting to be an entrepreneur and owning your own business, but it's like you have to really realize what that looks like for you and what it will mentally take you to do that, because there is nobody telling you what to do. There's nobody telling you that you need to get up, that you need to, you know, like when you have a job, you physically have to get up and go clock in, and you already know what you're going to do for the day. You already know what the tasks you have to do. But when you own your own business, it's up to you to figure out what those tasks are, what's most important, what's going to move the needle for your business, and what do you need to do, and set your own schedule. Like, yeah, it's fun to set your own schedule, but it's like you have to be disciplined. You have to be on top of your game, because like for the next week, like this week, I don't have to go to work for this whole week. And I told myself that the one thing that I wanted to challenge myself was to create consistent content. And I also wanted to show up as if this was my job, because I want this to be my job. So I'm going to show up like this is my job, and I'm going to wake up early, get a workout in. If I have to leave the house, go to a cafe and sit and work and try to figure out and really sit down and plan everything out and do all these little small tasks that I feel like my brain overthinks about when it's really simple, and continue to build those connections. I was just talking in my last video about building connections and how important it is to talk to people, because you never know what one conversation may lead you. So I'm really excited. I'm 26 now. I'm excited to see what 26 has to hold for me, because 25 was so amazing, and it was so life-changing. It was my year of rebranding. And so in 2026 and being 26, I just want to continue being the person that I am now, but just really, really build my confidence up, force myself to go to social events, force myself to get outside and talk to other successful entrepreneurs, especially in the city, because this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna hop up off of here because it's gonna be 30 minutes long. But I am somebody who consumes business content. I'm always listening to someone else's success stories, because you can learn by someone else's failures what they did, what you should not do. And I feel like I'm always listening to podcasts. I have a couple podcasts that I love listening to, and you can learn the most by somebody else. So I'm forcing myself to attend social events and get into the circle of other entrepreneurs in the city who are also building something that's community based, that is doing this because they love to do it. Because it's very important, and it's very inspiration. It's very inspiring as well to hear someone else's story, to hear their struggles, to hear the things that they go through, because entrepreneurship can feel lonely, and it can feel like it's all on you. And so it's like, it's good to be in community with other people who understands your struggle, you know? So I really encourage you to find community. If you can't find it in your own city, find it online, and build something great. Because at the end of the day, like, your business can be here today and gone tomorrow. And I feel like it's so important to just be authentic in your business, show up in the best that you can. And for me, I just try my best. And every day it just feels like I'm in that shift where, like, I have to leave this old version of myself behind and step into this new version of myself, even if that means building an alter ego to get it done until I become that person, because it's very important. And I feel like now that I've built those stepping stones, now it's time to really work, and it's really time to build and continue building. And yeah, so that was my Entrepreneur 2025 wrap of the year, and I'm so grateful and so proud of myself for taking that leap and pivoting and deciding to go for this, and deciding to go for warm pages. And so we'll see what 26 has to hold. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you love this type of content, I'll be rambling about all things entrepreneur on here, and I'll also be vlogging. So if you are rocking with me, my name is Diamond. Hi. And subscribe, like this video, comment down below, how you feel. I don't know, like anything that you feeling, whatever resonated with you during this video. I try to keep it as real as possible, because building a business is not easy, okay? So yeah, I will see y'all in my next video, which will probably be a vlog, definitely. But I just wanted to get this out of here before the year ends, because 2025, that is a wrap. Thank you. You've been good to me.